Welcome to our first Dramafy Facebook. We're going to do that again. Welcome to our first Dramafy Facebook almost live event. We were going to go live, but we were having technical difficulties. No, during COVID? No. Dramafy is a one-stop shopping online streaming service that hosts only audio dramas. What's an audio drama, you ask? Think old-time radio shows, only new ones. Right now, the Dramafy website is in beta so that when you go to dramafy.com, you can listen to all the content that is there. Just a second, my polygrip is failing. So when you go to dramafy.com, you can listen to all the content that is there for free until we launch. One of those shows you can listen to for free is A String of Pearls, which is exclusive to Dramafy. After Dramafy launches in the near future, we don't know when that is, technical difficulties, there will be a slew of new shows like A String of Pearls, as well as classic old-time radio, Dramafy originals, and more. So go to dramafy.com and check us out. We at Dramafy like to say that audio dramas are just like television, only the pictures are better. I am your moderator. Isn't that clever? I am your moderator, Elizabeth Hansen, and I'm here because they couldn't afford to get somebody better. So we're happy today to introduce you all to the audio drama, A String of Pearls. Now, A String of Pearls is a story about women, war, and bridge. It takes place during the dark days of World War II as 5 plucky women meet to play bridge on the home front, while a world away their men are battling the Axis powers. The women rely on their wit, moxie, and friendship to get them through the long, lean years that lie ahead of them. And today, we have the entire cast of A String of Pearls. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for being with me. I want to introduce everybody, and to those who are playing our game at home. No, we're not playing a game at home. Anyway, so everybody knows who everyone is. First, we have Cecily Ellis-Bills. Please wave, Cecily.
Hi.
Who plays Janet, who is terrible at bridge. Collen Baum, who plays Harriet Sue, who is a ringer at bridge. Kelly Coombs, who plays Mary Louise, who hates bridge. Lisa Zimmerman, who plays Elizabeth, the English war bride, who is their sub at bridge. And me, Elizabeth Hansen, who plays Maxine, who thinks she's good at bridge. Welcome to all of you. It is so good to see you again. The last time we were all together in February 2020, there was no COVID. And we were all able to get in the same room and work. How have you all been?
Good.
Great.
Okay, thank you so much for playing. We'll be leaving now. Okay, before we got on, I couldn't shut them up. But now it's like, we're on? We're on? Okay, I'm fine. So I know most of you, I know all of you have done film and theater. And in fact, Cecily and Lisa and Kelly are all in shows right now. Cecily is doing Les Mis, and Colleen would be in a show, but hers got canceled because of COVID. And I don't care. Anyway, just kidding. I mean, I don't care about me. Anyway, never mind. So, tell me what you're all doing now. So Kelly, you are in, what are you in?
I'm currently rehearsing Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Yeah.
And I believe that Lisa is in that same show.
Yeah, we're doubles.
Both doing it.
We're both doing it. It's fun.
Same role and everything.
Same role and everything. I'm just sad that once rehearsals end and the show opens, that we just won't see each other anymore, because it feels like we get to see each other all the time these days.
All day long.
Which I feel so lucky.
We've been lucky. I mean, it's strange. We've
really
been
good.
doing a bunch of different things, but we're both doing it. So we're laughing like crazy.
Yeah.
And Cecily, you are doing who and what?
I'm playing Fantine in Les Mis, and I'm just being mom.
There you go.
Like,
There you go. And Colleen, what is keeping you busy these days?
I work at a school called Guadalupe School, and I'm the administrative assistant. And I just audition for films and commercials when they come along. So Yeah.
You got a
Can't
normal
wait to
people
get
job.
back on stage.
You know, I tell you, this COVID stuff has just been devastating to our industry. I'm so grateful that we have the Dramafy can. The cool thing about Dramafy is that we can do all of this remotely. We just finished our, Colleen and Cecily were both in our Dramafy's latest production that's in post right now. And we were able, because of technology, we were able to do it all in the comfort of our own homes. So was A String of Pearls the first audio drama that you'd ever done before? Had any of you done any audio dramas before?
I have. Yeah. Plan B Theater.
Okay.
A theater company that I worked for before. They would do, like we did War of the Worlds. They also do they do one radio play every year. So I've done a few of those. Those are a lot. It's a lot of fun to do. Hard work.
Why is it hard?
It's just a different focus. Like your acting becomes about, it's just much more focused on what words you're emphasizing and how it comes out sounding, as opposed to being able to act with your entire body and trying to give meaning to that. So it's tricky. It's a lot of focus that's required that I don't normally have.
How about the other three of you?
I did a version of A Christmas Carol. I believe it was a 5-part Christmas Carol, and I played Mrs. Cratchit. And that launched on Apple iTunes for Christmas.
This past Christmas?
This past Christmas, yeah.
Cool.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Wait, I'm really bad
Tell
at
a person. Tell a person.
I know. It's still there if anybody wants to listen to it.
It's not Christmas.
I know.
Her Christmas is still up though, so we should
Yeah.
celebrate it.
Well, for Valentine's Day, let's listen to A Christmas Carol.
It could be a love
We
story.
also did a Christmas Carol. I also did a Christmas Carol this way.
Well, on
cool.
Dramafy, we have 5 Christmas carols. Everybody's
Right?
on a Christmas
It's
carol.
just a standard.
And what I'm also finding is that everybody also is doing Dracula. There's like 5 Draculas. So anyway, good. And Kel or Lisa, had you ever done audio dramas before? How about like voiceover work? Had you done voiceover?
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't done anything like the audio drama. I've only done animation voiceover. So I haven't done I've amped up my voice to sound like a completely different little animal actually. So that's the only other voice thing that I've
Ooh,
done.
I want to hear it. Talk for your dog that's there.
Oh, my dog. Oh, I don't know what he sounds like. I can't sound like him. It's like, I've done like a little ladybug voice where I had like a very mini, I don't know, I just amp up my normal voice.
You've got one of the most unique voices on the planet, which is one of the reasons that I wanted you in this. Not only are you a really lovely actress, but you've got this very distinct voice, which I love. I absolutely love. You can play 12-year-olds for the rest of your life.
I hope so. I'm banking on it actually. So.
And that's the beauty. And speaking of that, that's one of the beauties of audio drama.
Yes.
You
Totally.
don't have to worry about, you can wear whatever you want. You don't have to wear makeup. And I am also in String of Pearls for a couple of reasons. I wrote it, I directed it, and I knew I wouldn't have to pay me. So that's one of the reasons that I'm in it. But, here I am, a woman in her mid-60s playing a 35-year-old woman. It's great. I would never get
Right.
cast as one, but all you have to do is be able to act and have a great voice and have a voice that fits what you need. So after having done A String of Pearls, looking back on it, it was a year ago, but looking back on it, what did you like most about it? I'll give you a moment to think on that. Run the clip. Cecily.
Raising her hand.
I love our little cast. Actually, I love being with you guys. It's a hoot. Like, we have a good time, And I think the script lends itself to exploring the strength of women. So it's really fun to like be together and be strong women. I don't. Does that
Right.
make
I
sense?
loved our rehearsals. The couple that we had together in your lovely home. That was so fun to just sit around and laugh, and we were fixing lines there together. And no, I want you to say it this way. And it was just really, it was. I felt like a little, girl gang, and it was awesome.
Oh, girl gang. I like that. I'm
The
gonna
girl gang.
girl gang. Girl
There it is.
gang. Yeah, I think back on that, and those rehearsals, I don't think I'd laughed that hard for a long time. It was because we're all extraordinarily talented and we're all extraordinarily funny. I'm a little funnier, but that's quite all right.
Well, I do have to say my favorite part of the rehearsals was
I know
the
what you're gonna say.
toilet that you have in your living room.
Yes, I forgot about that.
So those of you at home who are playing our game,
Yes, please
I
explain.
have this lovely little table looking thing. And it was by where Colleen was sitting. And I don't know, you were saying, this is the cutest little table. And blah, blah, blah. You were just going all over this. It's an antique. It's probably from the 1860s or something like that. And I said, have you looked inside? She said, no, I didn't know it worked. So it's like, I said, well, lift the lid. And inside is a potty, is a chamber pot. And she's like, what is this doing in your living room? And I said, well, it's an object dart. She says, it's a toilet in your living room.
It's a conversation piece.
For sure is a conversation.
So I have never
Absolutely.
gotten over the toilet in my living room.
Oh, and we could not compose ourselves after that. I think.
Yeah, it
that's
was kind
That's
of like,
so true. Yeah.
it's gone.
Coffee table literature when you can have an antique toilet.
That's
In your,
true.
That's
in
right.
your living room.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
so fun. I love that.
Well, I liked it because it was so fun to like, not only it's fun to be with women, and it's fun to connect and do a story that's all about like friendship and kinship and connection, but like all the characters were so different, and it was so fun to like, as characters mingle with such contrasting personalities. And I think that's what lended to having so much fun, is that there were just so many fun moments between characters and things that we could laugh about and talk about. That was just so enjoyable to me.
Amen.
We all came together over cards. So
Right?
Yeah, it's so rare when there's, I mean, this was my, there are two reasons I wrote this. I wrote it as an homage to my mother and her friends, who until the day my mother had a debilitating stroke, and actually on the day of her stroke, she was getting ready to go to bridge. And she was waiting to get picked up, and she had a stroke, and so she's never able to go back. But for 70 years, 60 years, she played bridge with her girls every single Friday at the country club. And I remember when I would come home, I'd moved away, when I was in my 20s. And every time I would come home, if I was in town on a Friday, I'd go up to the country club and visit all of her bridge girls and just sit there and gab with them. They were the coolest women. And I had also just, seen at that time, the first time I had seen The Women, Claire Booth Luce's The Women. And I just thought, I have never seen a play that has no men in it, just women. And so I love this script for that fact that it's just women. And during World War II in America, because keeping the home fires burning, and you all are just absolutely lovely in it. So continuing on. Enough about me. What do you think of me? Anyway.
Can I just say one more thing?
Please.
Having been in the staged production of A String of Pearls, way back when I was the age of these young actresses that I got to work with, it was really nice to reconnect with that story and the things that I just were so touched by came back, and then these new actresses were here, and luckily it was radio play because I would never have been, you know, young enough to be cast.
You and me
Again,
both.
but it was just lovely to see how each actress still loves to sink their teeth into these roles. They're just so juicy and fun to play and really well written. So yes,
Thank you.
that's my.
See, and the thing I like about String of Pearls and all of you ladies in it is that it's deceptively simple. They just seem like, you know, your mothers, your mothers or your grandmothers, and they seem so like normal, and they are normal, but each one of them has these stories that they're, and these lives that they're dealing with. So tell us a little bit about Janet, putting you on the spot. I'm going to ask you all to tell a little bit about your character. So if I'm putting you on the spot, I'll talk about Maxine first, and then I'll turn it over.
Well, I played Janet, who is heavily influenced by Liz's mother, and I just feel so privileged to play her. She's in a marriage that is emotionally abusive, I would say, and she's very lonely, and she's kind of trying to figure out who she is and how to be in love with somebody that might not love her back. Is that a good explanation?
Yeah.
And then how the different women allow her to work through those things. And I think she has different conversations with all the different women, and I think they all approach different parts of her differently, if that makes sense. And doesn't solve the problem, but helps her realize what she needs to do.
Yeah, I think that says that's succinct. Thank you. Next volunteer.
I'll go. Oh,
Okay. No, go ahead, Lisa.
So I play Elizabeth, and she is.
Say it with an English accent. You've got to do it with an English accent.
You didn't prep me. I should have done a warm up or something.
You're an actress. You should just do it. And see.
Elizabeth Nye, and she is this Janet's new sister-in-law, and I just became Australian. Yeah.
Like down under.
No, she doesn't come in until like the last couple of episodes, so we only get a little bit of her background, but she's English, obviously, and she is married to Janet's brother, Grant, who is out fighting the war, and she's kind of this no-nonsense, kind of stereotypical English woman who has been flown to the States and just shows up, and I don't know how much I should give away, but
well, don't give away too much
for those who might listen, but she creates a little bit of drama, if you will, into this situation with these ladies. And then they all have to kind of process through it and figure it out. And they're just all together, so they have to figure it out. And it's kind of nice, though. I mean, within the first season so far, you already start to see how these women just start to work together. They get past some of their troubles, and they just start to work together to solve the problems that are before them.
And I'm going to go to Colleen next, because there's a reason Elizabeth kind of throws a cog into Harriet's plans, because
Harriet comes along from Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and she realizes, she's a single woman, she realizes that Janet has a very handsome brother. She sees his picture, and she falls in love with Grant as well, and sort of mistakenly feels like he has those feelings for her as well, and gets her heart broken when Elizabeth shows up one day and especially because she's pregnant. So it kind of hurts Harriet, and she takes off for a while. She's broken. She's really hurt. And but she's about to come back, hopefully.
Yeah, the cool thing is we've only gone like through half of it's based upon a play that I wrote. So the first season is like the first act, and none of you know what happens now. I mean, it ends with a great cliffhanger, and none of you know what's happening to your characters. So, okay, now Kel.
So I play little Spitfire Mary Louise. She loves to eat. She's always eating. No, but she is actually Maxine's half sister. And something that I really love is their relationship from the beginning of episode 1 to where we leave off episode 6. It's a complete 180. And I loved, as I was listening to it again recently, I loved that arc, which I don't know, it hit me this last time. I thought it was really, really well done, and really well written, I should say. But yes, so she's a little Spitfire. She kind of is a little gung-ho. She goes and starts to work in the workforce, in the, what do you call it? The WAFs, right? That's what it's called.
Women's auxiliary
ferrying something, right?
Yes, she's a pilot. She becomes a pilot.
Yes, and I don't know, I admire her so much. I think she was ahead of her time a little bit, but she still has such a fun, she falls in love and she has that young girlish bit about her, but she's still like, I'm gonna go fly these planes and kick some booty, if you will. And she does, I hope.
She does.
Cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger.
He hasn't been broken yet.
No.
Yeah, that comes in act 2.
Oh dear. Oh. Yeah, it's fun.
And I play Maxine, and Maxine is extremely rich and high society. She is elegant and drinks a little too much. And she's married to a career Army officer and they fell out of love years ago. It's very odd that Maxine would be playing bridge with these other women, because they're, as Harriet says, they don't look like they go in the same circles. But Janet and I are best pals because we are Kappa Kappa Gamma sisters. And that is so, I know that sororities are around a lot now. They're still, sororities on campuses. But back in the 40s, the 30s and 40s, it was everything to be in a sorority. So my mom was a Kappa, and every female was a Kappa except for me, and I didn't get pledged. I did not get rushed, and my mother was furious. So she was just furious. I came home crying, and she called everybody that she could. But anyway, so Janet and I are these two. We couldn't be more different than as friends at all, because Janet is this straight arrow, and Maxine is a curved arrow. And
Kind of like us, Liz.
Huh?
Kind of like us.
There you go. And we're pals. We are. It's true. So, so what was your favorite part of either recording String of Pearls? We know that we all loved the rehearsal session. What is your favorite? And I remember saying at our first rehearsal, I said, this is a soap opera. I mean, it's a fun soap opera, but it's kind of a soap opera. And so enjoy the soapiness of it. It's not your classic soap opera, because it's got I think it's got more depth and character development than a real soap opera. But if you look kind of at it, it's kind of a soap opera. So what was your favorite part of recording String of Pearls?
Well, besides my coughing.
Oh my gosh, yes, we haven't brought that up.
Yeah.
My illness.
We arrived
I
at
got
the
really sick.
session We arrive at the session
Yes.
and Colleen probably has pre-COVID.
She probably had COVID.
She probably had COVID and we didn't know what it was.
I
She
did.
was so sick.
I was really sick.
And had she shown up like that
But-
now in COVID days, we would have like doused her in a vat of Clorox or something. I'm not sure. But I mean, we
And
can't go
that
back.
was after I had already had it for a week. So
Yeah, and the little
Whatever.
trooper that you were, because I was leaving in a couple of days to go to New York. So it's like, we can't postpone this.
I remember we were just dropping you lozenges, like,
Yeah.
"Here, take this. Here, go with it."
Yeah,
Yes.
you kind of looked like a dolphin at one of those shows. You know, it's just
the nice thing was we were in a circle though, and it was nice to be able to look at the person you were talking to. That was great.
Yeah.
That was
and
a lot of
I am
fun.
so looking forward to being able to go back into the studio, because as we were recording coming home, that's the thing that I missed the most, is the electricity that happens when you're in the same room with somebody.
Right.
And I mean, the recording was fine. It was good. It just didn't, it wasn't as much fun because we were, 50 miles away from each other.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it kind of had an element of theater, even though we were recording, which was like a nice mix
Yeah.
of worlds. It kind of, I think, helped, because I think sometimes with voiceover, even film, it's like you kind of have to create some energy that's just not there
Right.
because you're missing an audience or sometimes you're missing other people. So it really was like, it felt very intimate, it felt very connected, and I felt like Mariah Carey. So
Well,
Ah.
that's a reason to do audio drama right there.
our pop screen really.
I
just-
felt a little more like Britney Spears.
There you go.
Oh.
Or Justin Bieber. I'm not quite sure. It was one or the other.
Oh.
I have those identity problems,
Yeah, you're
I'm,
good
I'm
by
going, I'm going to therapy and taking inoculations. So anyway,
Oh.
I loved the end when we got to episode 6. Episode 6 is like hard. It's hard to do, and I'm not really in it. And I mean, I'm at the beginning, but it was fun to watch Colleen and Lisa like navigate how to make episode 6 happen when you're not acting together. You're just using your voice.
When you're not in labor.
Yeah, when you're not in labor. And it was very strange to me
Acting.
that I was the only one that had ever been in labor. Having to explain what that feels like.
going, Cecily, what happens?
Noises for me.
I was just like, I mean, I knew, but I guess I just didn't put 2 and 2 together at the moment. But yeah,
Yeah,
you did a great job, guys.
there's nothing more absurd than 4 single women going, how does it sound to have a baby? Quick, get a man. No, wait a minute. That's not the-
It's true though. I don't know what I sounded like when I was giving birth. You just give birth. Like you're just like trying to get through the moment.
Oh my goodness.
I've only watched puppies being born and like once.
A little bit like that.
Yeah, for those who are playing the game at home, what happens at the end is that when Elizabeth comes, I'm not giving you a, well, maybe I should just shut up. That's spoiler alert.
Listen to the episodes.
Spoiler alert.
I was trying to be so.
So I'm not gonna say. But what happens is,
You have to listen. It's
Yeah.
good. It's really
Right.
good.
so if there's one thing that you could recommend to our listeners to motivate them to go and to Dramafy.com. Did you see that? How I slipped that right in? Dramafy.com. And listen to A String of Pearls, which is the only place you can hear it because it's exclusive to Dramafy.com.
Well, Dramafy.com.
Where do you find it?
Dramafy.com.
Dramafy.com.
Oh, okay. Let me write that down.
It's Dramafy.com.
It's very clever.
Thank you. It's like Spotify only without spots,
Hold up a
But
sign.
with drama.
except with drama. It's Dramafy.com. If there was one wrapping up here, if there was, I want to take each of you individually what is the one or two things that you would say, this is why you have to go and listen to this show? What would that be? Because for me, it would be, and I'm going to go first. I just made up this question, so it's not like I thought about it. I just made it up. But I know that you, rather than hear the Jeopardy clock, we've got to have something in here. Mine would be, I think it's great because for me, I love writing in period because like I'm a World War II aficionado. I'm just a fan, not a, well, that doesn't sound right. Yay, war. I love that era. What I mean is I love that era. I love everything about it. I like to say that when I was in heaven, I slipped out over the fence and went down and like just hung around the America in the 40s because there's nothing I don't love about it. And I think that it brings the color and the innocence of the 40s, which, we don't have that kind of innocence around here anymore. Really, we don't. But also it's got the reality of what being a woman was like back then. That there's certain things you couldn't do. There's certain things that were standard in society that you could and couldn't do. And so it brings kind of the reality of what it was like being a woman back then, in everyday life. And I really like that about it.
I'll go. Yeah, I really love, and I think people would really love listening to it because yes, it's set in the 40s, but also these women, we can relate to them today. And I feel like what these women went through, with marital problems or falling in love or jobs and standing up for something that you believe in that is maybe different than other people. I think it all kind of, it's there in this script and in these episodes. And so I think that we can also relate to them in that way, that we all have similar, I don't know what I'm trying to say, similar circumstances set in the 40s, which is kind of an interesting way to look at it. So I think
I love
really
that. It's like it's contemporary, but in a,
yeah.
And it shows that like human beings are human beings. We just have,
and we have
different
the same
backgrounds.
problem. Yeah, exactly. Same, a
it's-
lot of same problems and things.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you.
Well, it's almost like we're doing the same things during the coronavirus.
Yeah, that is
like,
so true.
They're sitting around playing cards, and all of a sudden,
Yes.
let's play Monopoly because we have nothing else to do. It's like strangely applicable. It's like very accessible, even though it's in the 40s. And that's what's so fun about it. It's like you're reading a book. It's like you get to fill in all these details. You can imagine them to be whatever you want them to be. And it's just so evocative. Like the music that you chose as the background, and just like the conversation and the description of what they're doing and what they're eating. It's like you really can, it's like you're there with them. It's such a fun illustration of like a typical night in the 40s with some ladies eating some deviled ham sandwiches. But it's like during the coronavirus, it's like we're learning to get back to these like connective experiences because we just don't have the things we used to. And it's really refreshing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well said.
I think people will want to listen to it because it's got wit and heart. So I love a piece that makes you laugh so hard and then turns around and makes you cry, because that's a more meaningful experience to me, when, especially in a work of literature, that you're hearing all of these people being real and being funny, and then breaking your heart, and so it's just thoroughly enjoyable to be an actor in it. So I can't imagine it wouldn't be the same for an audience. So I hope people really, really log on to Dramafy.com.
I was hoping you would say that.
But everybody said so many good things. I love stories, and I will listen to anything that's a story. And I think in our existence on the earth, that's what people want. We want to leave stories, we want to hear stories, we want to be part of stories. And at least in our day and age, to just have a simple, honest story that you can feel like you're there, that doesn't happen very often. They're very complicated and there's all this other stuff, but this is like the simplest thing. Sitting around together and playing cards is the most engaging, beautiful story. There's something beautiful in simplicity.
Yes.
Well, my business partner Ken likes to say, and I'm so glad you brought that up about story, because that's really what Dramafy.com is all about. My business partner has coined the phrase that we use is first, last, and all story. First, last, and always. It's about story. Everything else is just a method of distribution. First, last, and always. It's got to be a good story, and I think you make my story come alive. I am beholden to you. I love you all. I can hardly wait for season 2. When are you going to write that? I don't know. Give me time. I don't know. Hopefully that will be in the next few months, because I can hardly wait for us to get together again. And thank you so much for being willing to come and talk about A String of Pearls at Dramafy.com. And have a lovely night and a great rehearsal, and we'll call and we'll eat, pizza rolls, Colleen, because you and I are just being normal people.
It just doesn't work.
It's true. So thank you all for joining us, and hopefully in another couple of weeks we'll have another Facebook Almost Live event. And thank you, ladies. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
And scene.